Hello, hello, and welcome to season 5 of the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I am your host, Jessica Gerlock, and I am so grateful for you all listening. And we're going into season 5 of this podcast. We've released over 40 episodes, all with different themes of showing ways that people can be strong in their own unique and beautiful ways. This podcast shows that strength is way more than having big muscles, and you really can't out-train what you don't address mentally. And you can't heal mentally while neglecting your body either. So real strength is about being honest about both, being honest about your mental and your physical health. This podcast shows where mental and physical health meet. We talk about mental health, which is very important for people to talk about their mental health. We also talk about physical health being more than just aesthetics, and we discuss where mental health and physical health kind of combine and where they meet in the intersection. So this season, we're going to be going honest about everything and get real and dig deep a little bit. We're going to have some guests on this season, also with journeys of strength that hopefully somebody can take a lesson from if you feel that way. But before we begin, I want to go back a little bit to the end of season 4. I believe we ended in October. And October since season 4, it's been quite busy. I ended up going to BravoCon in Las Vegas. BravoCon is thrown by Bravo TV, NBCU. It is a convention for reality TV. There was over, I think, 30,000 people there. And what I really came back from was a sense of community. It was so positive. There was, yes, we all like reality TV, and some people say, it's junk, whatever. But it brought people together with similar interests, all to have a good time. And in this world, we have so much negativity that we need some positivity. And BravoCon was all positive. I had the best time. I met so many new people. I really enjoyed meeting a lot of the Bravo celebrities. Some of them are mental health advocates. So I shared that I did have a mental health podcast and that thank you for talking about their stories. Specifically, I met Amanda Batula from Summer House. She speaks about her mental health, and she's been very, very open on Summer House for quite a few seasons about her mental health. So I thanked her for talking about it because I think it's really important as we use this podcast to share our stories dealing with mental health. Every day is not good days, but we have to look at the positives of life, and there is a lot to be positive about and be grateful for in this world. I also had a new nephew in October, and I'm very grateful for that. And New Year's, we went through the holidays. New Year's came and go. We're in 2026. And everybody talks about, when New Year's comes along, we talk about goals a lot and resolutions and setting New Year's goals. And a few years ago, one of my goals was to really live life to be happy. Unfortunately, it cut a few people out of my life, but I've created boundaries that my happiness, one person can't destroy anymore. I've worked so hard on myself for so long that I've actually now come to a point that they say you're unstoppable, but it really comes down to mental state and your mindset. And when you think of in perspective things that you get angry about, a lot of it means nothing. And a lot of it is so juvenile. So I really wanted to just do what makes me happy, spend time with who makes me happy. I have 3 amazing nephews, and I want to be the best aunt and show that, you can still have fun getting older and life is positive. I want to be a good influence. And it's important that going into the new year, you have another 365 days to become your best self. Yourself is going to be the greatest project you could ever work on. And my best advice for you is you don't need to start January 1st but just start, because that's the hardest part. People say, you're one of big resolution for New Year's is to lose weight or get on a health fit journey or a fitness journey. I've been on my fitness journey for 11 years. I want to, I don't need, oh, I'm going to want to lose weight. No, but I want to improve myself with every opportunity that I can. I want to move my body with every opportunity that I can. I don't want to take that for granted. I want to eat well with every opportunity that I can. As I'm getting older, I appreciate age and I appreciate the quality of life. And my quality of life right now is to that I don't have any pains or aches, that I'm eating well, that I have food in my fridge, that I can make better choices when I walk into the grocery store and I don't have to worry about that. But I also know that it's very easy for me to fall off because I once was that girl who weighed 227 pounds and ate fast food. I think one time my credit card bill was like $2,500 of just fast food. That's not healthy. That's not normal. That's not normal mentally, and it's not good for your body. And I'm aware of that. But sometimes, it's really, you're lazy and you want something quick. And it's really easy to go right back into that slump. But each day I have the opportunity to make better choices with my eating, make better choices with my movement. I work a lot. So it's important that I put time aside for my workouts. Because if I'm not working out and I'm a trainer, then I'm a hypocrite. I think you have to live the lifestyle that you show. As a trainer, especially, I want to be a role model for my clients. I want to work out to show my clients that it's not a chore. I want to eat well. I want to live a lifestyle that I could show my clients that it's possible, that it's feasible, that it's not impossible, and that it's not that hard when you break it down. You never have to do a 180 change, but making those small decisions. I've talked about this multiple times on multiple episodes of this podcast and my book, You Don't Make Friends with Salad. It's all possible if you want to make that change, but it all comes down to you. And that really makes it another important thing. When it comes down to goals for 2026, my personal goals, I want to maintain my physical health. I want to maintain my mental health. I want to grow my mindset, fitness, and wellness, my in-person personal training service and virtual personal training if you are interested. I want to grow this podcast. I want to inspire others to live their best, healthiest self. I also wrote a kid's book with kind of the same message that this podcast has, is that no matter what height you are, you got to believe in yourself and you can do anything if you do believe in yourself. So that will come out hopefully in the end of 2026. And I'm really excited because anything that I do right now professionally has the same message, is to inspire others to live a healthier lifestyle, to believe in themselves more physically and mentally, to improve their mental and physical health. And to know that it all comes down to you, but you have to put the work in. I have clients that say, oh, I want this and this and this. Okay, I'll tell you what to do, but you got to do it. And what this podcast, being 5 foot strong, doesn't matter your height, your physical appearance, but it comes down to your heart. And you have to be a good person. And it's really simple. And that's a message that could resonate with adults and children alike. So I've written a book. I'm storyboarding it right now, hopefully illustrating it soon, and then we'll get that out for everybody, just to inspire, the next generation just to believe in themselves. And even if they are shorter or taller, doesn't matter. It's how you believe in yourself and do the hard work, and anything is possible. So stay tuned for that. So I want to go back to the basics of this podcast. And there's three, it's kind of like a Venn diagram, if you remember those two circles, and then the where they meet in the middle. So one of the circles we're going to discuss is mental health, and the part most people avoid talking about. Then we're going to talk about physical health, and not more than just the aesthetic purposes. And then we're going to talk about where mental and physical health meet in the middle and how they really affect each other. So, starting with your mental health first, I want to talk about a lot of things going into the new year. Burnout and emotional exhaustion. I'm seeing that a lot with people who are in jobs that aren't fulfilling. I see that a lot in parents who are throwing themselves and not finding a balance. I see that a lot in a lot of different people with many different reasons for burnout and emotional exhaustion. You need to remember, yes, people say balance is unrealistic in this world, but you can't go all or nothing. You can't throw yourself as a parent and not think that you're going to be exhausted. And then that's when you're that exhausted, you're not working on your personal mental and physical health. And then you're not, if you put yourself all in work, then other things impact negatively. So it's really important to find, everybody's life is different, but it is important to find that balance that is good for you and your family and whatever situation you're in. Burnout will affect not just your mental health, but it will affect your physical health eventually. So it's important to realize how you feel, and don't think that you have to throw yourself 150% into something, because again, you need to put some of that percentage, prioritize it towards your mental and physical health, because it's important that your body is able to deal with all the stresses that life throws at it. Another thing that I'm also seeing is the pressure just to be fine and say, oh yeah, when somebody asks, oh yeah, you're good, and but you're silently struggling inside. If you're silently struggling inside with your mental health, please talk to someone. It doesn't need to be a therapist. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. Please talk about it. You do not need to be in silent and struggling. That is the worst situation. You can get help. There's always if there's a will, there is a way. And if you want to, you can get help. But you can't silently struggle and not let people know that you need help, and that it's okay not to be fine sometimes. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. And that's important to realize too. When you ignore your mental health, it will eventually show up physically. And I've explained this to my personal experience with it. When I was depressed, I was 227 pounds. I had to get knee surgery because the weight I was putting on my joints, I was a mess. And now looking back, my mental health and my physical health were a complete correlation of each other. When I was in my worst state, I was in my worst state physically as well. So when you ignore your mental health, you're ignoring your physical health as well. And that's, again, when you ignore both your mental and physical health, you're going to get on a downward spiral that's very hard to get out of. When you prioritize your physical health more than just aesthetics or the way it looks, you have to use movement as a tool for your mental health and not as a punishment. Your physical health, using fitness and using lifting and using cardio to improve your mental health, that's all it's going to do. It's going to improve it. It's never going to be a negative effect on it. So you have to change that mindset of using movement as a tool for improving your mental health and not as a punishment. when you are working out and you are talking about the all or nothing, you need to put rest and recovery as part of your training. It's really important, or again, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out physically. You cannot work out every day at 100% energy and then think that that's a long-term solution. You're going to burn out fast. You're going to have aches and pains. You're going to hurt yourself. It's about that slow and steady mentality, small steps in the right direction. If you are aware of your body that's not feeling well, or you feel like you need to rest, or you're exhausted, listen to yourself. Take that rest. Do that recovery. Go for that massage. Whatever you need to do. Don't think that that's a failure, because it's not. It's part of the process of training. And if you want to train for the rest of your life, you need to include the rest and recovery in your training, at least depending on how your split is for your workout. It's important to at least put in a couple days of rest into that workout. And it could be active rest as well. It doesn't need to be sitting on your butt. But again, depending on your workouts, putting those rest and recovery and some of those boundaries in part of your training is important. The whole idea with working on your fitness is consistency over intensity. I'd rather you work out for the rest of your life than, again, putting 100,000% and hurting yourself. The intensity doesn't matter. One step in front of the other. I never believe in, as a trainer, in giving my clients something that they can't do. I'd rather you do something easier and complete it, and then we'll increase the intensity. But start from the bottom and then build up. You need to build that important foundation for your fitness and not worry about the intensity or how much you're lifting or jumping or any plyo stuff. That's comes later. You need to build the foundation. It's important. It's like a pyramid. Building that structure, the strength in the beginning, and then the intensity as your fitness level improves is the way it should be. Now, where your mental and your physical health meet is important to be mindful of. Stress, everybody has different stressors in their lives, and stress it affects the body in different ways. But you might be one of those people who don't eat when they're stressed, or they binge eat when they're stressed, or they sleep a lot, or they don't sleep, or it all can affect the body in different ways. Your hormones, when you're stressed, go kind of cuckoo in your body. So it's important to realize how stress lives in your body, and also how emotional healing requires some physical care. It might sound a little odd, but one of my favorite forms of therapy is a good workout. It sounds kind of, not normal, but I really get out a lot in my workouts, and I feel so much better. I might not want to work out at all, and I might be doubting myself and saying, no, 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 but I've never left a workout regretting it. I always feel better. I feel like I accomplished something, and that itself will help with, I was depressed. So the fact of accomplishment and doing something for yourself is a really big win. And we count those wins, even those small wins, because those are wins that will help you maintain your physical health in the long term. You got to be honest with yourself, and honesty with yourself changes how you train or how you eat, even how you rest. It's that, switching that all or nothing mindset. And it's for some people, it's really hard to do. But finding that balance of eating well, working out, resting, being there for your family, being there for your professional work. It's a lot. And if we don't find balance, our seesaw is going to be tilted in the wrong direction. We need to find balance so that we can have quality of life and maintain it for long periods of time. One more thing I want to mention before we end this is it's important to choose workouts that serve your mental state at the time. And what I mean by that is if you're angry about something, if you have rage about something, maybe yoga isn't the best idea. Maybe you need something to get that rage out. It's important if you need to self-reflect, then do yoga. If you need to, I don't know, if you're more tired than normal, go for a walk. But adjusting your workouts to serve your mental state will help you in the long term improve your mental health and your physical health. So find something you like, find something that serves the emotion that you're feeling and makes you feel better in that mental state. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Strength isn't always loud. It doesn't always look like pushing harder or lifting heavier or holding it all together and acting like everything's all right. Sometimes strength is being honest with yourself. It's admitting that you're not okay. That's strength. Recognizing when your body is tired, when your mind is overwhelmed, and choosing to listen to your body instead of trying to push through it, that is strength. For so long, we've been taught that mental health and physical health are separate things, but really they're not. They live in the same body and they really act upon each other. When we ignore one, the other one will eventually come up and show its face. So this season, we're going to have conversations that we've been avoiding. The ones that are uncomfortable, the ones that tell the truth instead of chasing perfection. If you're listening right now and you feel behind, burnt out, lonely, or even unsure of what strength even looks like anymore, know that you're not weak. We all have strengths. You are human. And being honest with yourself is probably the strongest thing you can do today. Season 5 of the 5 Foot Strong podcast is about showing up as you are. Don't fake it. I want to see the messy, the healing, the growing, and realizing that strength is not about size, stats, or comparison even to anybody else. It's about courage. It's about connection to others and connection to yourself. It's about being strong enough to be honest with yourself. We need to be more honest. We need to take those sheets off and just show ourselves, and we can't hide from our health anymore. I want you all to live your healthiest, happiest selves, and that's the most important thing. I want to thank you all again for being here. And remember, whether you're 5 feet tall like myself or 7 feet tall, we are all strong in our own unique and beautiful ways. Have a great day, stay strong, and can't wait for the rest of the season.